Hey, 7th graders, we are going to finish up parallelism and antithesis today. We started it in class yesterday. We're going to finish it up today. I know you're pumped. First, let's make sure we remember you should have finished numbers 12, 13, and 14 as homework last night. If you didn't, pause this video, do them now. You may have homework tonight, but at least you'll have that done, right? Got one thing taken care of that you should have done yesterday, okay? Once you're ready, we'll move on to the next page, page number 15 in your I Have a Dream packet. This is a passage by the name of On Robert E. Lee. It's written by a man named Benjamin H. Hill. And we're just going to read it and talk about it. There's some wonderful examples of parallelism with antithesis, right? Those are two tools that we are seeing these writers use together. Ready? He was a foe without hate, a friend without treachery, a soldier without cruelty, and a victim without murmuring. He was a public officer without vices, a private citizen without wrong, a neighbor without reproach, a Christian without hypocrisy, and a man without guilt. He was Caesar without his ambition, Frederick without his tyranny, Napoleon without his selfishness, and Washington without his reward. He was as obedient to authority as a servant, and as royal in authority as a king. He was as gentle as a woman in life, pure and modest as a virgin in thought, watchful as a Roman vestal, submissive to law as Socrates, and grand in battle as Achilles. Whew, lots going on there, huh? There are so many sentences. You'll notice I have numbers here in brackets. They are in brackets because I added them. I numbered the sentences for you to match the questions, for lack of a better term, on your paper. So there are directions underneath that reading. It says, write the syntactical parts that are parallel, one above the other. Draw lines between the parallel parts and label them. Now, I'm not going to do 14 for you, but I want to show you what it should look like. So you'll see here is that passage highlighted in the reading. And then here is what it looked like. So these were the portions that were parallel, right? A foe without hatred, a friend without treachery, a soldier without cruelty, a victim without murmuring. So when you write it on your paper, it should look just like this. All of the A's should be lined up. Foe, friend, soldier, victim should be lined up. All of the withouts should be lined up. Hatred, treachery, cruelty, and murmuring should be lined up. So you're going to do the same with number 15 and number 16. And then you're going to go in and add our lines and what parts of speech here are being used to make it parallel. Okay? Before you do those, if you want to pause and copy this down, please feel free. But before you do 14, 15, and 16, we're actually going to do 17 and 18 together because they're harder. So once you've gotten this written down, we'll move on. When I look at 17, you'll see I already even put the parts of speech there for you, right? It says, he was as obedient to authority as a servant and royal in authority as a king. You'll see that's up here highlighted. I just added it, guys, sorry. And I've made it all parallel for you already. I've shown where these things match up. So obedient and royal are functioning as adjectives here, right? They're predicate adjectives. He was as obedient. It is telling us about he, describing he. Obedient to, preposition, just like in is a preposition, royal in, authority, as another preposition, then articles, a, and another noun. Again, both of these are acting as objects of preposition, and we know objects have to be nouns, always. That's their job. So if it's acting as an object, it has to be a noun, okay? So that's how these are parallel. And you'll notice we actually have some, oh, where's my circles? There they are. Let's make a circle here. So we have antithesis happening here. So obedient and royal. We don't generally think of people who are royal being obedient or people who are being royal. Generally, royals are the people in charge. And then we have another example of antithesis happening right here, a servant and a king, right? So you're looking for that as well. Just like we did in what Dr. King said, we're looking for those same things here in what Benjamin H. Hill is saying about Robert E. Lee, right? So let's now work on the next one, number 18. Moving on to number 18. Here there are more words. So that's part of why I wanted to make sure we showed you how it's still parallel rather than handing it to you and hoping you could guess correctly, right? But our sentence, he was as gentle as a woman in life, pure and modest as a virgin in thought, watchful as a Roman vestal, submissive to law as Socrates, and grand in battle as Achilles. Now, obviously, women, you don't all have to be gentle. Don't worry about that. This was written a while ago. But not the point today. Today we're looking at parallelism and how things are antithetical. So we see a lot of adjectives. Again, they're functioning as predicate adjectives, right? He was, and then this describes he. So we have gentle, pure and modest, watchful, submissive, and grand. Now, these two, if you look, have prepositional phrases added on the end, but that's okay. We are worried about the fact that all of these are adjectives. That is what makes this part of this parallel. Then we have a preposition and a noun, and sometimes those nouns are preceded by articles, but it doesn't change the fact that the overall structure is still parallel. Just like having these prepositional phrases on the end of the first two doesn't change the parallelism. So gentle as a woman in life is still parallel to grand in battle as Achilles, right? We still have adjective, preposition, noun. We've just tucked an article and another prepositional phrase on the end in the first one. If you want to go ahead and get this filled in, I do want to point something out. Watchful as a Roman vestal. We put vestal like off to the side like it didn't fit. Really, vestal is your noun here, and Roman is functioning as an adjective describing vestal. It's a proper, it's capitalized because it's a proper noun usually, right? But it's acting like an adjective. So vestal is really your noun. If you wanted to cross it out and move it over with Roman, that would be correct. And I would be very proud of you for doing that. And then the other thing we talked about was thinking about things that are opposites, right? Antithetical things. There are some things here that are antithetical. I have a hard time kind of picking a category. If we were going to just draw a circle around something, it would be kind of, we have some things that are opposites in this area, right? Gentle and grand in battle, I don't really think of, but all of them are not antithetical. So if you wanted to mark the pieces here that are antithetical, that would be wonderful. And then over here, we would think, there aren't necessarily opposites in some of these. And again, some of them are dated, I know. Ladies, I'm sorry. I didn't write it, I promise. But again, like direct opposites, like Achilles was a man versus woman. Okay, sure, you could mark those. Socrates was a man. But it doesn't have quite the same impact in some of these as it does in the other sections of the reading. So where you see them, mark them. I have circles rather than highlighting, so you can highlight because you've got your highlighter. To finish this up, please remember you're responsible for finishing number 14 and all of number 15 and 16. I know you're going to be amazing at that. Oh, and number 19. I'm sorry, I almost forgot. And number 19, which is about, it's the actual analysis part, right? Let's make this like I wanted to. 15, 16, and 19. There we go. That looks right. So take a screenshot of this if you need to, or write it in your planner, however you need to do it. Hopefully you have some time to do that. This video is only 8 minutes and 44 seconds long. So you should have plenty of time to finish up. Thank you so much. Good job, guys.